So I'm Jarrod. I'm Harborough born and bred. I run a business called Randalls, which is classic UK pick and mix, all things sweet. The classic case, but it is definitely true that I struggled with school. I just didn't like being told what to do.
You've got to make mistakes.
100%.
If you do everything right every time, you're never going to learn anything.
I don't think you can always just think, well, it's great, so it will always be great, because it won't. We've gone literally like this so many times over the years.
Can I just ask one more question? Do you still like sweets? Welcome to Behind Harborough, the podcast, community and business podcast where we meet people behind it all.
I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Linda.
And today we've got a very exciting special guest all the way from Adam and Eve Street in Harborough. From Randalls, we've got Jarrod. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming. We're really excited, actually. Lots to
Unpack.
Get to know you.
Definitely.
Get to know Jarrod behind Randalls. So for people who might not know you yet, can you tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
So I'm Jarrod. I'm Harborough born and bred. I'm 30. And I run a business called Randalls, which is essentially like imported confectionery and like classic UK pick and mix, all things sweet, and like fun from around the world. And been running that for 10 and a half years now. It's a bit weird to say out loud. 10 and a half, since I was 19. So yeah, 10 and a half years. And yeah, that's me.
I've got to say, Jarrod, that the pick and mix is the best pick and mix I've had.
Thanks.
Like,
appreciate that.
Genuinely.
We hear it a lot, but I still like hearing it
and
now.
I love sweets. Like, pick and mix is my thing.
I think it's a nostalgic thing for a lot of people we're finding, which is why things are probably quite crazy for us at the minute, because every sweet's got a story.
Yeah.
So like even when you came in and picked your bits
My
and bobs,
aniseed balls.
like, but then you know that when someone picks something like that, it's for a reason, because they've got a story behind it, or they've got a core memory from when they were little where they had them. And you hear so many like trips down memory lane. It's just
Did I tell
wicked.
You why I
No, you didn't tell me, but I
balls?
assumed that was why you'd picked them for some
Yeah,
reason.
I used to go to this corner shop at lunchtime when I was at secondary school, and I'd pick the aniseed. Do you know what? I probably picked aniseed balls so no one would take them.
Oh.
I mean, so
It was
fair, because they're
strategic.
not the most popular thing in the world. That's
No,
for sure.
I wouldn't.
Definitely
No.
not.
I do like them though. Like I love
The people that
taste.
like them love them. Like same with like licorice and like all the more
It's a
sort
Marmite of sweets.
definitely a Marmite. Yeah, definitely.
But Jarrod, why starting a business at 19 and a half?
So the classic case, but it is definitely true that I struggled with school. I just didn't like being told what to do. My mum and dad will tell you exactly the same thing. I've always been like quite a free spirit, just doing whatever I kind of want to do.
Were you like that? Because I think sometimes business owners have that.
Yeah.
We all have that little thing in us where we don't really like
Naughtiness.
being
Just don't
told,
like being told what to do. I never ever have done by anybody. And I think school I struggled because I wasn't massively academic. But the things I did really enjoy, we didn't do at school, really. Like younger school, the things I was interested in, like business and stuff like that, obviously that doesn't really come till you're a bit older. But I never actually went to sixth form. I went straight to college and got out. But I worked for a village shop and post office when I was 17 in Wilbarston, and that was a brilliant job. My boss, Sharon, at the time, she was so good. And she was like caring for her elderly mother and a disabled son, and she just sort of said, I need someone just to come in and run the shop for me. So I basically was doing that at 17, and I think I got a taste for like all the regulars, and like everyone's so predictable, which is like quite nice, and it's quite like comforting. And then when I was at college, there was a shop similar to what I do now. It was like one of the first ones that ever did it. They're not around anymore. And I just thought it was really cool, but because they were in High Cross, it was like crazy expensive. And I thought, surely it's got to be cheaper, like some other way. And then ended up stumbling across wholesalers rather than retailers. And then it kind of just developed in my little ADHD brain from there, really. And then I couldn't put it down until I found something. So it wasn't really planned to the point of I didn't really think I'd be doing this now. I don't think I knew what I was going to be doing, but yeah, it wasn't really planned. But it's just kind of developed into something.
So did you really get that feeling when you were working in the Wilbarston shop that you loved retail? Did it kind of grow from that?
I worked at Wilco's and Homebase for like 6 months each prior to this job, just when I was at college, just for a bit of extra money. And even though those jobs weren't like the best jobs compared to the Will Barston job, I just found a love for people, I think, because I've always been a real big people person, like big groups of friends, and we've got big family. So I think I just liked, especially in Will Barston, where there was a lot of older clientele, they'd all come in and get the same thing every single day. So you'd like prep the order, like literally the newspaper. You knew which cigarettes they were going to buy. You knew what they were going to do, and it was great. And even then, like all the different elements. There was a post office there. Like there was like the National Lottery. So there was so many different elements every day that were different. But I think I also liked the familiarity and also not being told what to do, because I was dealing with like all the banking and everything at like 17, which was mad, really. Because I didn't think, really, I probably shouldn't have been, but it was just sort of like, well, you're doing a good job, just crack on.
Yeah.
So that was really good, and I like the fact that it was. Just independent working. I think that's where it kind of stemmed from after that, was just not having really anyone telling me what to do.
So did you learn the business side of it through that shop as well?
Yeah, a bit of both. So obviously I wasn't doing like accounting business stuff, but general cashing up every day, making sure all the books balanced for like 4 different machines. All those different elements did helped out with a lot of stock order and stuff like that. So I've got a lot to thank for Sharon, which I still go and see her now, because she just really taught me, even though she didn't really teach me. She just ended up allowing me to teach myself a lot of what I knew. And I used to read the like Retailers magazine, and she's like, "What are you reading that for? Like, what are you reading that for?" And I was like, "I just find it really interesting." She's like, "Each of their own." But I think reading things like that from like then probably gave me a lot of knowledge that I probably wouldn't have been taught now. I forgot about Retailers magazine, actually. I used to read it every week. So funny.
Do you think now you still look, especially in our local business community, do you look upon other people at what they're doing and take from them?
Yeah, I think what I have taken from, obviously we've been in the town for a long time, but I'll always look at, I like collaborations of businesses working together. So we've just started working with Farnham Fields Farm Shop, which has been really, really good for us. But that stemmed from seeing the Garage Bakehouse doing the same thing. And I thought, actually, that would be a really good thing to work with them, because for what we do, we don't make our own thing, do you know what I mean? So it's not like we're baking something or creating something ourselves. We're obviously essentially just repackaging in a certain way. So I thought something like Farnham Fields would be great, because their offering I didn't think was the best. And Steve also didn't think it was the best. So watching people work collaboratively and thinking, actually, we could do that, and that would work really well. I think Harborough's great for that, because everybody tries to work with each other. And like we found you guys through, working collaboratively, going to different meetings with different retailers and stuff like that. And I think that's what Harborough's great for. But I think I take a lot of inspiration from just even people like my neighbour Duncan Murray, who's been in the town for over 20 years, and we're now neighbours. And to see like what he's created through his own personality, because that's what it's come from. And I think that's why a lot of people like Harborough businesses, because they all come from a one personality, and Duncan's very unique and a very, very funny guy. But
he's also unique in that he is his business, like you say.
100%.
And that is why people keep going there. And the same with you guys. I think you are so authentic. So you're you on the front of your business. We try and do that. It's a really hard thing. It's a really hard line to get right. I
think it has really good points and bad points, because obviously the good point is that everyone comes in for you, but that can also be the bad point, because like I was fine up until recently. My business was, up until about 12 months ago, struggling to function without me there. And actually that was good and bad, because if you want to take a break, or it's basically just plugged in 24 hours a day, which we'd created that because of obviously the social media, with me being the face of it.
You got more of your team, more
we're kind
in front of the camera.
It's a lot better now, and it's obviously now less reliant on me being on the camera at all. It's all about like the customer interaction now.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
it's great.
Yeah,
so I know you started in Kettering, didn't you?
Yeah.
I actually remember seeing you guys before you were in Harborough.
Yeah.
Again, you must have been great at social media back then as well. Like,
I think
grew
at the
up
time,
in that era.
Yeah, and I think at the time it was that sort of, because we were more like import sweets based back then, so it was more things from all over the world, and not many people were doing it back then. So I think when we first opened in Kettering, this tiny little, well, it was smaller than this room, little shop space, and then like we sold everything on the first day, and I was like, oh no.
Wow.
But I had no money.
How
like,
did you sign the lease and everything
So
at
it was
19?
So it was a place called the Yards in Kettering, and it was essentially a independent department store. So it had like a main till point, and you paid a rent and you paid like a 10% commission to have the staff basically run the whole place for you. And they were just wanting new business. They didn't really want existing ones. They wanted like something brand new, fresh. Harborough had nothing like it. There's a few more things like it now, but Harborough had nothing like it at the time, and this was cheap. Like
And
I
your
think the
dad
rent was like
spotted it
200 quid,
or
I think.
something?
Yeah, he spotted it in the Harborough Mail, and he said, I know you don't want to be in Kettering, but this is like, they're saying they're doing rents from like 150 quid a month. And I was like, that's
Wow.
peanuts compared to
Yeah.
Harborough. So I went along to the meeting, and I actually am still really good friends with people that I started that basically at the same time with. And they were people that I learnt so much from, because some of them had been running different businesses for like 30 years prior. So these have been people that have been self-employed or company directors for some of them up to 40 years. And they taught me loads of things, loads and loads of things that I never would have known about.
So you must have spoken to your dad about wanting to start something on your own then.
Yeah, I think he knew. He told a story recently for my birthday, apparently, and cause my Amrita did me like a videos from everybody for my 30th. So like people all over the world that obviously we're friends with and stuff. And my dad did a whole video like for happy birthday, and he said that I picked up his pay slip when I was like, I think I was about 10 or something, and I was like, what are all these minuses on your pay slip? And he was like, oh, it's what you have to pay, like tax and national insurance. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, I'm not paying someone else's like stuff. I want to do it on my own. And he said that from that moment, he did think that I probably would never long-term work for somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I told him that I wanted to do something, but we even looked at like a corner shop. So there was like some that came up in Harborough, and I even thought maybe I would run my own like news agents, because I think you could still incorporate, which a lot of people do now, social media into that.
Yeah.
And then this came up, and we were like, actually, I do quite like the sort of imported side of food and drink and stuff. And my dad's worked in imports for a long time as well. So yeah, just kind of came from that really.
Oh, amazing. Have you got siblings?
Yeah, I've got a little brother.
Oh.
Yeah, he's 2 years younger than me. But
Just-
he's completely the opposite
Yeah.
in terms of his outlook. Like he looks at work as just something he needs to do to earn money, whereas I look at work as like it's my whole life, essentially.
This is why I always feel like, even though you are brought up differently because your parents do it
Yeah.
differently the second time, but it shows there's just, it's nature versus nurture. Like
Absolutely.
what your drive and things is absolutely
Mhm.
within you.
And he was the other way, so he was like quite academically fairly clever, just couldn't be arsed really. So he was just like, I'm not. He went to sixth form and all those different things, but he just he's much rather work for someone else and be done with it. Which some days I feel like that, but not many. Do you know what I mean? It's mainly that I can't imagine not doing what I want to do every day.
Yeah,
so,
and answering to someone else.
Yeah, just can't imagine it now.
Yeah. So you're Harborough through and through.
Born and bred. Yeah.
So what was growing up here like? Because neither Lyndon or I grew up.
So
in
obviously it was a
Harborough.
lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously got probably doubled in size since I was born here, realistically.
Did you love
Quite
it so much when you were younger?
boring.
Boring.
For me, like as a teenager who was like obviously quite, you know, not off the rails, but was like doing exciting things. Harborough was quite boring. So we'd obviously travel out of Harborough to do different things and stuff. But
What did you like doing?
That's the idea. I'm dying to know.
Give us the tip.
what can I say on here? I like to. So I used to hang around with people that were quite a lot older than me. Was like, so they were probably like 17, 18, and like a couple of me and my friends were like 13, 14.
I really get the feeling that you have got an older head. On
Yeah,
your
a lot
shoulders.
of people always say that. So I used to go around with them. So they all had cars, and like we'd go to like raves and all sorts of fun stuff. But
Awesome.
but back then it was in like an era where like Skins the show was like massive.
Yeah.
So everybody wanted to be like everyone in Skins. So it was like partying, drinking, whatever. Always quite responsible, because my parents have always been like, you can pretty much do what you want, just don't turn up here bringing us any trouble, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, do what you want to do, but just be safe and be. So I was always quite safe with it. But yeah, just loved going out, partying, having fun. And I did that a lot when I was young, which is why I think I wasn't really bothered about school. think I was just sort of like, I can't really be arsed. I'm having too much fun. So I loved the social side of it, but everything else I just wasn't really bothered.
Do you think you'd parent in the same way now? Give them
No.
that
Well, Amrita wouldn't. She's already told me that.
bit closer.
Yeah. So she's had quite a different upbringing to me, obviously, but she was very similar to me, which is probably why we get on so well. I would do it a little bit differently, but not massively. I still think my parents did a really good job of being like, because I think that's how I've come to the point I am now, because I was allowed to make my own choices. And they actually said, do you know what, if you do make a mistake with the business and it goes all horribly wrong, at least you've tried it. Because my dad's always wanted to run his own restaurant or his own business, and he's never done it. So he was like, yes, just go and do it, because I wish I'd sort of maybe thought about it. And I'm,
I think
that kind of thing.
That's the one thing I say to my kids now. You've got to make mistakes.
100%.
If you do everything right every time, you're never going to learn anything, because
well, it's a fantasy land, isn't it? It's not real life.
From doing something wrong, from getting it wrong.
100%.
If we get it right every time, we're not really. There's no growth.
Yeah, you can't improve on anything if you are constantly getting it right all the time.
I don't know about you, but I feel like in our generation, when we were younger, we weren't really told, get things wrong. It's great to get things wrong.
Yeah.
We were like, it's drilled into you. You need to get it right every time.
Yeah, it needs
but
to be perfect.
I think the mindset has definitely switched.
I think it switched probably on our generation.
But I think your parents were doing that really by saying, go out, do what you want to do, because you need to make those mistakes.
I think they said to me as well, unlike my brother, they said like, we could just see that you weren't going to listen. So if we if we just knew how you were, and we were like, we just know you're not gonna listen to us.
They knew how to manage it.
Yeah, and actually, I was very safe with it. And by the time I turned like 19, I was like done with going out. Like I'd done all that, and actually, I just completely focused on growing the business then. And I think, they always said that. They were always like, we just knew that you weren't gonna, if we said no, you would have probably just found a way to do what you wanted to do anyway. So actually, we're like, do it. And then, so they brought us up quite differently, I think, because I was a bit chaotic. They were like, with my brother, a bit more like, okay, let's do something a bit more academic and let's get you down a bit of a path. But it all worked out great in the end. So, yeah, it was good.
And they seem like great parents.
They are the best, literally the best. They are so supportive with everything. Every, crazy idea I've come up with. I'm going to move again. I'm going to move the shop again. They're like, okay.
So
and everyone just jumps in and just helps, because they know that even though it might not be perfect, they know they can see that it's only getting bigger. So every move I've made seems to have been the right choice. So they just drop everything and help. Really, they're great.
Oh,
so good.
Really
Any bad choices at Randalls then?
There's been a few. I wouldn't say anything like catastrophic to the point where we've obviously had
you're still here. So.
We're still here, yeah. Nothing too bad. I think complacent maybe at times when things have been really good, which is how we met Charlotte and Tor as well. Complacent and not keeping my eye on the ball when things were really busy. So we're currently in that position again now, but we're very much firmly on it. Whereas prior to that, when we've had real crazy moments, we've not kept our eye on the finances enough. So we're turning over loads of money, but actually the profit wasn't really there. So you were at a point where you were like, well, I've took all this money and now my VAT bill's here and I've literally not got a penny. What's going on? And then you realise that you haven't manage your money properly. Now, part of that is obviously down to me. Part of that was some not great accounting. I've said it. So, I take full responsibility for the things that have maybe been questionable. But overall, I wouldn't say there's been anything, maybe not hiring earlier is another one as well. Maybe because I was too scared to bring other people in, because I thought, and it is really scary because you think, now I've got no choice. We just keep adding more and more people on now. But it's hard because it's when it's your baby. And I actually never think I ever wanted it to be at the stage it's at now. I always wanted it to just be sort of me, maybe 2 other people, just have the shop. And now obviously it's like this monster. But it was never, I actually genuinely always said I'll just run it so I can have something, have my own shop and potter about and enjoy life. And now it's obviously grown more than that. But so I wouldn't say any major mistakes, but definitely things that I would maybe do differently. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
I remember during lockdown, again, we hadn't even met at this point.
No.
But I do remember seeing you all the time. I think I ordered something and you were literally running around delivering parcels yourself. And so what happened during that time, and what do you remember of that?
So that was that week before lockdown, so my birthday was on the 20th of March, and I think we went to lockdown the 21st or 22nd or something like that.
Yeah.
So we'd cancelled all my birthday plans anyway, and we'd already set up online about 6 months before, because a lot of people were moving out of Harborough, and they were like, we still want to support you, but how do we do it? And I was like, well, I better create a website just so that they can buy on there. So luckily I'd had it built.
God, you were prepared before the lockdown.
If I hadn't have had that built, I don't think we'd be where we were today, genuinely.
Yeah,
I don't think we could have ever got the traction we got
ounce
then.
of luck there.
Literally. And then we were in that little shop of the fishmongers, and and then lockdown hit, and it was, I've just never known anything like it. It was just, we were getting like up to like 100 local deliveries a day.
Wow.
So I had me, my dad, my brother driving. Well, I was in the shop just packing everything for everybody, and they would just go out all day, every day, because also we're all living together at the time.
Delivering locally.
And they would just deliver all day. They'd come back, get more, deliver them. And we were just like this, we were honestly taking what we take in a month in a day. And it was just the most overwhelming thing. You were not bored
in lockdown like some
No, God no. I was literally working 16 hours a day, every day. And then we then had, I will shout her out, Gemma from Motherhood, who still is very big on Instagram, and she'd ordered from us online. So at this point, the postal hadn't really started, but then people started ordering postal because obviously they couldn't get out. And then naturally, because we were posting so much through lockdown, so many more people were seeing everything in lockdown, some more people were ordering. And she ordered, and she put a video up, and we got like 300 orders, literally. Like,
wow.
And this is someone who used to do like one a week. So we had like 300 orders overnight, and I was like on my own packing them all, and I was like, this is insanity. So then luckily, me and Amrita weren't living together at the time, so we were separate, which was also not great. But in the end, I rang her up and said, you're going to have to come live in my house because we need to do this. Because if we don't do this now and we don't capitalise on it, this could be the future. So she moved out of mum and dad's, moved into mine, and then we just smashed it every single day for months solid. And then you just kept getting busier and busier. We're shutting the website, opening it for like 40 minutes a day, and then we get like 300 orders in 40 minutes, shut it again. Clear all them, go again.
How was that on your relationship? Because like that can be quite intense. Like, was it, and how is it working together now as well?
So we always said we'd never work. I always said I'll never ever work with you because I don't want to ruin either the relationship or the business, because I thought the business is really important to me and our relationship's obviously very important as well. But I said I don't want to mix them. But then in lockdown, I rang her up literally in tears, like, I can't do this anymore. I physically, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't even think. And she was like, you're just gonna have to bring me in because we've got no choice. You know, like you've already got all your family working for you, and that's still not enough. So she's like, you're just gonna have to bring me in, because she bought, as all ladies are brilliant, the organisation element. You know, everything, she bought it all in. I was just doing the most ridiculous things every day. And she came in and she was like, why are you doing this like this? I was like, because I've just got nobody to sound off to. I've got nobody to think about it. So I was really worried, but we made it work from the offset, and there wasn't really even that much stress. Then I think because we were apart for so long, we were apart for like months. And that, you know, we were only like a year into a relationship at this point, like a couple of years. It was quite an intense thing to do when we were still both like kids, really. So I think we made it work because we're also together, which was really nice. And then she's still here today, 6 years later. So that was never, ever, ever. She got a degree.
We got engaged last year, didn't you?
We got engaged last year, yeah.
It's all going well.
But yeah, she's got a degree and she's very, very clever, but she just don't want to leave. She just loves it. And we love it together, to be fair. We have thought about, you know, she has thought about leaving before in certain scenarios, but actually we're at the point now where I genuinely don't think I could do it without her now.
Oh, that's
so yeah, it's worked really well. But we've never really had any major. We've had the odd argument over things we've disagreed on, but I think because it's still my business, and she, like, she very much doesn't want to be. She doesn't want it to be her business.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to have any responsibility. I mean, she still has, obviously, but like, it's not on paper. The pressure's not there, and she's not on paper. So it still doesn't feel like, even though she basically is the other half of the business, she still doesn't feel that, which works quite well for us, because I still have to do all the, if there's a load of legwork to do, I've still got to do it. Do you know what I mean? She's still having her Saturdays off, which is totally fair. So it does work quite well, really. We've got a good balance, definitely.
I think people see like the real fun side of what you do as well. Do you think, like, is there something behind closed doors that is there like big sacrifices you feel you've made, or it's, you know, been harder than you thought?
Yeah, I think it's definitely been harder than I thought, but I think that's just because it's grown to much more than I thought it was like ever going to be. So I think because I was never prepared to be a boss of 7 people now, I was never prepared for all these things, and I think that's where the struggle has come in. I think it's been taken on because when it was just me, it was quite stress free to a point because I just had to pay myself and the rent. And the rent was peanuts, and it was just so easy. Whereas when it all became a lot bigger, the pressure is definitely a pressure cooker. I'm sure you feel it at times as well.
It's
I'm sure
like
everyone
Charlotte
does.
said last time, she supports other families.
Yes,
as
exactly.
well.
Yeah,
So it's a
and that, I
really
think,
wonderful feeling to know that you're.
it is. But I think
giving,
it's also
a
scary.
burden, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
if you overthink it, it becomes.
I think when
huge in your brain.
100%. I think when we've had like slight dips in the business or whatever, my brain goes into absolute overdrive, and I really struggle to like bring it back down again.
Yeah.
Because I just think, oh my god, what if that person, we have to lose somebody, and it's going to have to be that person because of this or that, and we've never had to do it. But I think that the pressure's hard. I've always struggled with the pressure at points, either when a lot quieter or like we are now, extremely busy. People think being extremely busy is the best thing in the world, and it is financially, but everything else it's not, because the logistics aren't there. You know, the manpower's overworked, everyone's knackered. It's just finding those mediums.
But I feel like that protection in your brain of thinking, right, what if this goes wrong? What can I do?
Yeah.
That makes you a great business owner, because you're not just kind of going along with whatever.
I think as a business owner you have to be, because I think you can't.
Got to be one step ahead all the
time.
time.
You do. I don't think you can always just think, well, it's great, so it will always be great, because it won't. It's we've gone literally like this so many times over the years, and even though we're the busiest we've ever been right now, I still think, well, what if something happens, which it can do, especially when you're a social media facing business, it does just take one thing. You know, one agenda pushed a different way, or one comment taken a certain way, then that'd be it. So you have to be really. I'm definitely more conscious of everything now than I ever have been, because the social media following's grown so much, and
so many people are watching,
and the views are just like, when you actually start thinking about it, and you think how many people are viewing your content every month, it gets a little bit like, Jesus, this is insane. But again, I find that if the financials are all there, everything else is far less of a worry. I find the financials the biggest worry for me. Always. It's the thing that I worry about more than anything else, is have we got enough money for everything? Whereas at the minute, I don't have to worry about that, which is...
If you've got a great accountant,
then you're all good. Absolutely. Definitely.
You mentioned earlier your ADHD brain. Do you think, how does that kind of affect you as a business owner? Do you feel like it's a bit of a gift and a curse?
Yeah, so I'm not diagnosed, but Amrita did psychology at university.
She's
was like,
diagnosed.
you 100% have got something, and I'm pretty sure it's that. I think it's great because a lot of business owners are neurodivergent. That's kind of a given thing now, isn't it? A lot of people, without even realising, probably are. And I think I'm so meticulous with how I like everything, which I think is great, because that's why I think the social media's done so well, because I will not let a video go up if something's... Like, I've scrapped a whole video because there was a bin bag in the corner, or
same.
I'm just absolutely meticulous with it, because I think the image is so important, and I've spent a long time curating an image that is real, but it is polished, obviously, because I'm not making the face look like. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Oh, it's such a fine line to get.
It is. So I think that's
real,
I think that really helps.
Real but professional.
Yeah. But also, definitely real but professional. So I think that is. But I think I do massively struggle with the everyday little jobs. So that's why Amrita's brilliant, because she loves the admin and she loves all these little things.
Nice.
Whereas if you were dealing with just me, I'd be an absolute nightmare client, because I can't. It's not important to me. Doing that bit of paperwork, it's over my head. I'm not bothered. I want to do the everyday. I want to do the fun stuff. Whereas
because that's
the actual,
why you build it,
100%. And whereas the nitty gritty stuff now, and all of the financials, and like, obviously I'm very aware of the financials, but I'm just not arsed. I know it sounds awful, but it just bores me. It's like, we need to sign this for the the business. I'm like, just sign it.
Yeah, I think you've just got to be hyper focused on what you're good at, and bring in. I think that is being a good business owner. Bringing in
people that can do the things that you're not as
and
good at.
And that's the success, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
Absolutely, 100%.
Because no one's good at everything.
No, whereas like Amrita thrives in a spreadsheet and like documents, and she's so good at all that, which is why we do work very separate jobs in the business.
Yeah,
we barely speak to each other all day, because I'm doing the more practical or the more performing things, and she's definitely more behind the scenes, just how she likes it, keeping everything absolutely tip top, which was something I'm not very good at all.
And do you talk about work after work?
Yeah. Not to be fair, we
Have a cut off.
we do have a bit of a cut off. I would say I'm more in it in the evenings than she is, but we're quite good. But I think it's, especially in times like now, the last sort of 3 months where it's been so intense, so quick, you kind of can't help it because there's no time in the day to talk about it.
Yeah.
We don't talk in the day.
Yeah.
People are like,
You
but
need to debrief.
people are like, but you work all day together. I'm like, yeah, but we don't. We literally do not. We've got, we're dealing with so many different people within the team now, and we're running 2 premises separately, and so we don't actually speak that much of the day. So we'll have a little bit of a debrief, but we are getting better now. Again, I think because the financial stress isn't there, that we can just be like, right. And like last night, for a prime example, we said no phones in the kitchen. Let's watch some films, and let's just not talk about it because you're connected to it all the time, especially because we're a social media business. It's just constant.
What about when you're on holiday? Can you switch off from work?
I never used to be able to. I was really good on the last holiday we went on. I didn't do.
Did you have a wonderful holiday?
It was so good. It was so good.
Where did you go?
Just to Corfu, but it was lovely, and it was just like
Corfu, like
just
around the corner.
Just to Corfu. So it was great, and we did proper just switch off. But again, I think that's because we were so busy back here. Usually we go on holiday, and because it was so reliant upon me, we'd be so much quieter. So we'd have to have more staff in because we weren't there, but we would be taking far less money. So I used to hate going on holiday because I'd think, yeah, it's great for a break, but all I'm going to be worried about is we're not taking enough money, and I'm going to get back, and it's going to take me 3 weeks to recoup that money of working harder.
Yeah.
Whereas now we're so busy, I'm like, I can just go, and I don't have to worry about it.
I
now.
honestly feel like heartwarmed by it that you've found that balance.
So do I. It's taken a long time.
It has, and it's so there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes, because if you look at your online presence, your social media, everything just looks so rosy and everything's going amazingly, and people don't always realise your day in the life videos are great.
Yeah.
Because it shows what's going on behind the scenes, but that work-life balance of switching off when you go on holiday, that's something people don't see.
This has been the first holiday in 10 years that I've actually said.
I'm genuinely so pleased for you. I remember the last time I went on holiday, I didn't check an email.
I think, in fact, Anne-Rita actually checked my work phone to say, she came downstairs, but she said, don't be angry, but I've just checked your work phone. I was like, it's fine. She went, this is how much the VAT is. I was like, oh, that's good. That's much less than I thought it was going to be. She was like, I wanted to tell you.
She wouldn't have told you if it was bad.
She said, I won't tell you if it's bad, but if it was good. But yeah, it's the first one I've actually, not thought I've got to keep checking my emails or keep checking everything's all right, because I just knew that they were dead busy and there was plenty of money coming in. But that has been the first one. So it's taken 10 years. So it's not been easy at all. I think people get that a bit confused when you're a business owner. They think, well, you run your own business, so it must be.
Yeah, and you've got all this
you must
free
have all the time in the world,
you
and you
can
work
do what
all
you
your own hours.
want,
Like, no, I work far more hours if I was employed.
That's the big myth.
It is a big myth, but I get why.
I think a big work-life balance story for you, Jarrod, would be the day you got your keys for the shop. Probably a prime example of what we're talking about. So tell us about that.
So this was the Harborough shop. So we already had Kettering, and then I was looking for a shop in Harborough, but there was just nothing at the time. And the shop that I now have is owned by, the shop that I had then was owned by the Martin Hobbs fishmonger family, who were good friends of my grandma. But on the day I found out about this, it was my mum's mum, so my gran. It was her funeral that day, and that's where the name actually comes from as well. So I was actually at the funeral, and we just were finishing up at the funeral about 4 o'clock, and I got a phone call from Jenny Hobbs saying, I've got this property above me. Your grandma said you wanted it, but you need to come and tell me if you want it now, because I've got about 50 people that want it. So she said, if you want it, you need to come now. And I was like, oh, it's above a fishmonger's. Like, is it going to be the Varb? And I thought, and then she told me how much it was, and I thought, oh God, yeah, just say yeah, because I thought there's nothing else, and it was definitely not what I pictured.
Yeah,
because it's not the most aesthetically pleasing. It's upper stairs above a fishmonger's, so it's not like the best. But that was the most bizarre thing, because that was when we said, I think we'll call it Randalls, which was my grand's last name. So my middle name.
You didn't name the Kettering shop.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, no apologies. That was decided when, I'm getting this all mixed up now. So that was decided when she got poorly. So she had dementia for about 4 or 5 years prior. But when we first opened the Kettering shop, that was what we decided to call it. I think it was my dad that came up with it. If I've got that wrong, I'm never going to the end of
So
that.
so is that the surname?
So it's my mum's maiden name.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
and my middle name. So they put is my middle name and it's my mum's maiden name. Because we like the idea of it being personal. Because a lot of people in the industry just call it something sweet shop or something sweet. So and I thought I don't know if it will always be the same thing. So if you call it like something American treats or whatever, then you always kind of have to be, and it gets confused. Whereas I think initially we always said we wanted to create a brand. Well, my dad actually said you need to create a brand, not just a sweet shop, because you will be the brand essentially. And that was years ago before I'd even started it. And I think we collectively, but I think it was my dad said, well, why not Randalls? Because it kind of has a bit of a ring to it. And
It
it's a bit
kind of
different.
sounds like a sweet shop.
Yeah,
It
I
sounds
know.
like it's meant to be.
Yeah, and it was like that because
lovely.
obviously my last name didn't really have the same ring, which is obviously my dad's name. And we were like, no, that's not the right name. It's just not the right fit. So that's where it came from. But it was really weird because my gran never actually got to come because she got poorly before I opened it. So she never actually got to come anyway. But it was nice because she's was always a big part of my life growing up. So I think that's been nice to still kind of, because people still come in the shop now and they're like, oh, your gran was Gwen in the wheelchair. I used to go around in the scooter.
Oh.
And you still get that. And people are like, oh, yeah, I used to live next door, or I used to know her from this because she used to load. She's another real local person. And she's also lived in Harborough pretty much all of her life, So, you know,
do you
long
think
time.
you'll stay in Harborough now then? Do you
I
can
think
imagine
so.
ever moving away?
I wouldn't move far.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It would be like outskirts. Like I'd never move far away.
Corfu.
I think no, not Corfu. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think I like. Some people are built for small town mentality and some aren't, which I completely. You know, I've got a lot of friends that have moved out of the area and they're living their life in London or even overseas. But I just quite like the comfort of small town. I think now I've got a business here.
You're thriving in it.
Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it? And I think I've just, unlike when I was younger, I've grown to love it now because I realise how lovely it actually is. Whereas when you're younger, you just don't care about any of that.
No.
You're not bothered about like
No.
the train links or like the good shops. Like you're just not bothered. So I think now that we've got all that, and it's only getting better and better. I think, don't know about you guys, but it's only getting better and better and better locally. Every month there's something else that opens that's great, or a new group starts, or it's just getting. The community feels massive in Harborough, massive. And
I think it's about how much you put yourself into it as
100%,
well,
yeah.
because you really apply yourself to that, and it shows in everything, and how grateful you seem for the community around you.
Massively.
Yeah, it shows.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That's good. Well, it's true because you know we've in a situation now where we've got people travelling from all over the country to come to the shop, which is incredible.
Wow.
But it's still really important to me that the local people are still looked after, because we are dealing with a situation now where the shop's got queues all the time. So I'm consciously making sure that the regular people are still all right, because I don't want them to feel like, you know, oh, it's blown up and now they're not bothered anymore, which I'm more bothered about them than I am anything else, because there's people that have been shopping with us every week for 10 years. So you just want to make sure that they're still looked after, don't you, a little bit, I think. Well, I do anyway. But.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there now you're 11 years? How many years in now?
10 and a half, about 10 and a half.
So now, do you have that confidence in what you're doing, or do you still feel like there's an element of winging it?
I feel like you gain the confidence when it's the same for a certain period of time, and then something will happen, and
then you feel like you're winging it again.
Great. I thought I just got like a hang of this, and now I haven't. I feel a lot more confident now. I think because we've been through some difficult times in the business. Like I said, in terms of finances, I've never shied away from that. It's not been a bed of roses at times, but I've been far the other way in the red and thought, I don't know how I'm going to get myself out of this, and then actually worked out that you can, you know, if you get advice from the right people and the right financial advice and stuff like that. So I think this is the best grip I've had on it ever. I think I initially was thinking like, I'll do 10 years, and we'd also hit 100,000 online orders as well. So I wanted to get to these like certain milestones, and then I was like, then maybe I'll just see what I do after that. But now I'm like, actually, I think we've got to that point, and now it's properly starting from 10 years. Feels like all the legwork's been put in, and now actually we're on the real exciting bit now where it's actually going to complement our life a bit more. So I feel like I've given up a lot to get to the point, but now we're at this point, I'm like, okay, I can see it's easily been able to have kids now and that not be a problem. And all those
you
things.
Get to 30 and it's like, now you're running. Like,
now I feel like I've actually...
Most people that only just started.
Well, this is it, isn't it? And now I feel like we've
your experience.
Well, I just feel like we've put the the foundations have been laid now. Because we were at a point, like I was saying, where me and Amrita were like, how are we going to have kids and get married with this business like this? This was 12 months ago. And I was like, I can't run my life like this anymore. So something's got to change, which is when we hired Melissa for the social media. So now I'm like, actually, do you know what? It'll be fine for Amrita to take time off. There's loads of bodies in the business now. You know, we'll be able to easily do the things we want to do. And it's fine running your own business, but you can't sacrifice everything else in your life for it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what's the point? There's literally no point. So that's why I said we've got to crack it now. That now, from the foreseeable, it's going to be complementing us as well as us just giving it everything. And now it is now. So
work-life balance.
Amazing. That sounds
the famous line.
Yeah, the famous line. It does happen. You're proof of the.
Yeah, it does happen. It definitely does.
Yeah.
You need to have love for it though, because everything you say, it's pouring love for the business.
Yeah,
and I think that's how
I do. I think
build it.
Yeah, I think you have to have it. Because I think if you haven't, you will give up on it because you can't go through. I think you block out some of the things you go through in business sometimes because you only want to see the good in your baby because you think, well, it's given me everything, and actually it hasn't to some degree. So I think you definitely do have to love it and have passion, which I think is what shows on the social media. I like to hope is that it's, you know, everyone that knows me. And
you look like you just really enjoy it.
I do genuinely. Yeah. There's the occasional very stressful day, but overall, I would spend every minute there because I just love it.
Oh, that's
I know I can't, but Amrita wouldn't let me, but I would. And I often will go in on my days off and stuff through choice now. It's not because I need to. Sometimes I'll go and do things through choice to help the business or to help my mindset with it or whatever.
Does your brain ever go to this place where you imagine giving the shop to your children?
I'd like to hope so.
So I think that's.
But I think I could.
It's a real possibility.
I think it is now, more so now it is a possibility. And I think,
and probably your children wouldn't say what my son said. They would be actually quite happy to take on a sweet shop.
Absolutely. There's worse places to inherit, isn't there, really? Like, you know, it could be worse. But
it sounds like fun.
Imagine
it's really good fun.
Your parents run a sweet shop. Like, everyone...
Yeah, everyone
You'll
says
be
that
the
to us.
favourite.
Yeah, everyone says that. It will be, really good.
So, what advice would you give to someone if they were starting a business now?
I think I like this question, but I struggle with it because I think when I started a business, it was a completely different ball game. We hadn't had COVID and we hadn't had lots of other things. But then I did open, you know, we've seen through COVID, we've seen, you know, financial crashes and all different things. But I think the key thing, which I think a lot of people don't do, is just to be authentic to you. So you can look at somebody like what we're finding now, where, you know, our style of content's doing really well and anybody can replicate it, but it's not the style of video, it's the people in the video is the reason why it does so well. So I think it's that, you know, definitely take inspiration because everyone takes inspiration in everything. But I think being yourself and showing you, and I think actually vulnerability, because I've documented everything over the last 10 years, every really good bit, every really bad bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's built, especially again, I always talk about but the last 12 months because I've come on and I've said, you know, we're not in the best position. I need everybody's help to kind of get back to where we want to be. So I think definitely being honest and a little bit vulnerable and showing that it's not all a bed of roses, because it definitely isn't, goes a long way, because life's not. And everybody, whether they run a business or not, is going through some sort of struggle or hardship. And I think to be able to relate to that and think, oh, actually, just because they've got a business doesn't mean they're doing great. It just means that
even people that run personal accounts online or just sharing the wonderful bits. Just I don't enjoy that because it's not real life.
No, 100%.
So what now, looking back on absolutely everything, what do you feel most proud of?
Probably still being here 10 years, because obviously when I first opened it, a lot of people didn't understand what I was doing because it was such a fresh sort of thing back then. But I think believing in me, because I've thought about giving up a couple of times because it just was getting way too much. And again, with like how my brain works, I can't configure and think, right, I can get through this. I just think my brain's like, no, it like shuts down on me. I'm like, I can't see the wood for the trees. I can't be arsed anymore. I can't be doing with it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Whereas I think working on that has been really important because, again, just getting here, honestly, because definitely, it's been about 2 points where I thought I couldn't have seen 10 years. So I think to be here and have flipped it and changed it and, you know, got to this point when a lot of businesses will fail in like the first 12 months. It's a big achievement, and that's something I'm really proud of, definitely. And also probably learning to be a boss, because I didn't ever want a boss. And now I've ended up becoming a boss, which is not really what I ever wanted to do. I didn't really want to manage people.
I'm similar to you. I don't like being told what to do at all. So do you find it then hard to tell other people what to do because you know how that feels?
Yeah, I think I've got more used to it because of my style of doing it. So because of how our business operates, I don't really have to give people much instruction because everyone kind of knows what they're doing. So it's just things like managing. I know it sounds silly, but people's breaks, because we've got so many people now, everyone's got to have a break. I've got to make sure we've got enough people on the floor in each premises and each part all the time to keep it all moving. So it's things like that. Recently, I feel like I'm becoming like a rota manager, because I'm like, I need to make sure everyone's got the right breaks.
You've got to be it all.
But generally, I've got an amazing team. I cannot stress that enough, because they turn up every day and they just see it how I see it, which is just so good, because you hear nightmare stories about people hiring and it's, you know, awful. And the people that have left us have only left because they've had to, like, one person moved away from the area, had no choice. And they were like crying, leaving the door, like, I don't want to go. And then like anyone that's left has left because, you know, maybe they needed to buy a house and financially that part-time job just wasn't enough anymore. But then there's everyone that's been with us, you know, has stayed for quite a long time. So that's a big compliment for me, that, you know, we're not churning through staff.
It shows that you've got a really good
I hope
business.
So. And I want
nice
people
place
to
work.
definitely, and I want people to enjoy coming to work every day, because I do.
Yeah.
So I try and make it as fun as possible, because actually the more fun you're having, the harder everyone ends up working, because it doesn't feel like a chore. Do you know what I mean? Which I think is helpful.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Well, I think you're an absolute asset to Harborough, and Randalls is an amazing part of the community, as are you.
Thank you.
Can I just ask one more question?
Yeah.
Do you still like sweets?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think you go through stages of, we've become quite immune to it, obviously, because you work with it every day. But I think what's ignited it is the pick and mix area. So we've only actually done pick and mix for like 2.5 years. Wow. It was all imported stuff before that. And we went into pick and mix when we got the new shop on Adam and Eve Street. And I think it's the excitement from people that are up to like 80 years old that have got a favourite sweet.
The nostalgia.
The young kids who have never bought like that before out of jars. So they have no idea what this concept is. And they're like, sweets in jars that you pour out, because of course they never grew up with it. Yeah. So you've got like all the elements of all the age groups that love it. And I think what has made me love it again even more is like just seeing people when they come in like, oh my God. Because everyone that comes in is like, how do you choose from all this? And it's such a like a focal point. But I think bringing that in has made me love it again, because it's another whole load of new sweets and different things. But we go through stages. We won't eat anything for like a month, and then me and Amrit are like, we need a haul. So we'll just spend like, take like 60 quid's worth of stuff and be like, we're just going to try everything, like get ourselves a big mix and loads of crisps. And we like do a stock up like once every couple of months. But we're always eating sweets because they're dropping all the time.
Yeah.
So we're just literally, we have like a big
10-second roll.
We have like a big tub, we call it floor sweets.
Yeah.
And everything just gets yacked in there all day. And then we've got that many tubs. We have like 8 tubs now because we've been that busy.
Wow.
So I've been like dishing the tubs out to everyone, like take that tub home, take that home for the kids, like just take them. So yeah, we're always dipping in and trying new sweets, which I think is nice. But the whole team like them.
Okay.
And again, I don't think you can sell something like that without, you know, enjoying it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Do you have any favourites?
Yeah, it changes all the time though.
Yeah, tell us, you've got to pick one sweet from the pick and mix. What would you go for?
So my original favourite, the reason I started the business, was pink and white mice. That was the original. Like why I started doing
like a pink and white mice.
But then, but you can't have too many. This is the problem.
They are.
So I would eat too many and feel sick because I'd eat too many. So I've got a few. There is a few, but if I've got to pick one, it's going to have to be pink and white mice, I think.
Great.
They're so good.
Well, Jarrod, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
It's been truly enjoyable.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to wrap that one up there, but please remember to comment, like and subscribe to the videos. We're on Spotify and YouTube. And I'm off to get some pick and mix.
Absolutely.
Following you home. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.